Hello everyone, welcome to Sarah's house. I am an LA musician. So the other day I finished Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. Then I couldn't sleep. I felt like I want to read more. So I clicked to buy this Kindle book. It's been in my Kindle wishlist for a while. I love the book cover and I like Stephen King's novel. The only reason I didn't start right away after finishing The Institute was that his novels are dangerous. I always read before going to bed, about 15 to 30 minutes. It helps to sleep better, right? But when it comes to his novel, I just keep reading an hour or two. If It Bleeds has 4 different stories. I have read 2 of them. So today I would like to talk about Mr. Harrigan's Phone and The Life of Chuck. The story is about childhood and adolescence of Craig. I like the characters of 3 of them, Craig, Mr. Harrigan, and Craig's father. Since Stephen King is a male writer, I found out that his male characters have more variety and have depth, I guess. Although it wouldn't look too natural if he described females as perfectly as his male characters. I like Craig. He's so adorable, very cute, warm-hearted. Although his mom passed away when he was little, his dad loved him so much. I like the fact that he had a good childhood. Mr. Harrigan / a rich old single man asked Craig to come over his place and read for him. Then he pays $5 an hour. Square deal. But Craig's dad wouldn't like that way, in a hilarious way. One day his dad asks, "Does Harrigan ever touch you in a way you don't like?" And Craig said, "No, geez." Then he jokes about it. If he did that, he better send me 2 scratch tickets. Because Mr. Harrigan sent him scratchers 4 times a year. Valentine's Day, Craig's birthday, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. His dad would tease at him that Harrigan got so much money, but he's a cheapster. He cocked the thumb up our road to Mr. Harrigan's house. But they actually got along very well. And Craig wouldn't mind it at all. Actually, he loved to visit Mr. Harrigan's. After he died, something happens with his iPhone that Craig got him as a gift. I'm not going to say more than this, it'll be a spoiler. I loved the way that Craig's father raised him. I would like to read some of the parts from the book. At Harrigan's funeral, Dad asked his son if he wanted to see him for the last time, and Craig said he would like to, but he wanted to be the last. My dad, God bless him, didn't ask me why. He just squeezed my shoulder and got into line. I loved the way he did. If you are a father, it's better sometimes not asking anything to your child. I think my dad did that too. When I got a horrible grade and I wouldn't let him see it but needed his signature on it, and he did that for me. The other part is also at the funeral. I didn't tell that I needed a hug, but he must have seen it because he wrapped his arms around me. This is the best, Dad. When we were back at the house, Dad asked me again if I knew who had done it. I said I didn't. Not sure I believe that, son. I said nothing. You just want to let this go. Is that what I'm hearing? I nodded. All right, he sighed. Don't ask your kids if they refuse to answer. The last part is when Craig got through the investigation after Whitmore's death. His dad was worrying and asked if anything was wrong and said, "If you want to talk, I'm here." That was very sweet of him too. Of course, there were more important and fun part to read for you, but I thought it was very nice to see the character like this. It made me happy when I read that Craig had a good daddy. I guess Stephen King must have been like him when he raised his kids. I like people like Harrigan. He's like a holy fool according to the book Talking to Strangers. I'd rather have friends with people like him than someone who's very nice and kind but in a superficial way. In my experience, kind and nice people tend to ask me more favors. And because of their warming, welcoming personality, it is usually hard to say no. It is like having a very nice waitresses and waiters at the restaurant that you need to pay extra tips for them at the end. Also, those nice people don't like to take other opinions, and I have to react the way they'd expect it to, in my opinion. But people like Mr. Harrigan, square-dealing man, they are not kind and nice, sometimes mean, blunt, forthright, but they are more open-minded and they listen to the other side of views. Mr. Harrigan actually hated internet, TV, even iPhones, but he listens to Craig and eventually he took the iPhone. They are more simple when it comes to all sort of relationship and friendship. I think Harrigan really appreciated Craig and liked him, but never exaggerated his feelings. But also at the novel, the reason why Craig had to move his school was because of the tax cut. I kind of like the way King sometimes puts his little political opinion here and there. This one has very unique figure. At the beginning, there's an apocalypse in LA and there are the ads. Charles Krantz, 39 great years, thanks Chuck. On billboards, TV, and everywhere. So Marty keeps seeing Chuck's ad all the time and it seems like the whole world is ending. This novel has 3 chapters and everything is reversed. I felt that the clock ticks backwards and the whole thing gets closer and clearer the more you read. I actually checked some reviews from the internet. Many people love this story the most. I agree, it's a beautiful story. After I finished, it still was in my mind for a while. And it was in LA, so I couldn't stop thinking that this could happen at any time, especially during those pandemic. We live in 2020, anything could happen. This is not a horror nor thriller, but it is by Stephen King. So at the end, there is some interesting thing coming out, which would be a crucial spoiler that I don't want to talk about. So this book was my 3rd book of King. I know it's too little, but English is not my first language and I just became a fan of him. The Life of Chuck made me think of Stephen King as a great writer, and it's a great novel. He did an amazing job on this kind of unique reversed form of the novel. It is like seeing an amazing structure made by a great architect. Also, I like his expressions and descriptions. It is like watching a well-made movie that all the scenes are so perfectly filmed and it is not boring at all. When I read his novel, I always think of the movie scenes and it appears vividly. Because sometimes I get distracted reading some other novels. I could tell that wow, he really tries to explain something on this part, or like she must have done lots of interviews in order to write this particular part. That kind of pulls me out of the story, like there is a writer between me and the book, something like that. But when I read King's novel, those concerns goes away. I totally fall into the story. There's no writer between me and the story. It's just me and the story. That is the most amazing thing I found from his book. And I like the experience of reading his books. And that's why I like Stephen King's novels. Thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you next time with other reviews. Bye bye!